A lot of times I'll get asked, so what is a dispatchable location? What did it look like? How do we help provide guidance? And so the first thing is I'll come up here and say, we are not lawyers. And so while the FCC has certain regulations, there are certain states that have more strict guidelines. And the FCC, when they came out with these rules, was very careful not to overstep those specific states that have more strict guidelines. But as a rule of thumb, the way we talk to our customers and our partners is we explain it as line of sight. And so if I have an open communication area, all desk, I can see across the entire floor. Maybe I only need one dispatchable location, depending on how big that is. Now, if I've got obstructed line of sight, then more than likely you're going to need several different dispatchable locations. So what do I mean by that? Let's take a look at this floor plan on the right side here. If we start off at the top there, we've got some office spaces. From an office space standpoint, are those glass enclosed offices? I can see into them. And again, you want to put yourself into that emergency service person that shows up to that front door. Well, let's assume that those are all walled off offices. More than likely, I'm going to want to have a dispatchable location for each individual office. Now I get to the loading dock on the right side. Well, I walk into the loading dock. I can clearly see across the entire area. I can see all the phones. Maybe I only need one dispatchable location. Now I move down to the warehouse floor. As you all know, warehouses have rows and rows of racks to equipment. Well, more than likely, I'm going to want to have several dispatchable locations for that. And that's important. The conference room, more than likely, I'm going to only need one in there because there's probably one phone in there. And I can clearly see across the bottom there. Now I get to the cubicle space. Well, the question there becomes, how big are those cubicles? How many cubicles are there? Are we talking an entire New York City block? And trust me, in my past, I worked for an organization which had literally an entire New York City block of cubicles. Now the next question becomes, are those 3-foot high cubicles, 4-foot high cubicles, 6-foot high cubicles? As you can see, as you start looking at the different locations, it becomes more and more difficult if you're showing up to that facility for the first time. So again, you might want to turn around and go northeast, north-south, northwest, southwest, and have a dispatchable location for each of those quadrants.